Today I have with me Shanice, Casas-Barra and Kain, Stratton from DXC. Welcome to the lounge.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Today you spoke about how artificial intelligence can improve the service experience and look after our people. Now, Kain, the term artificial intelligence and the phrase looking after our people, there seems to be quite the conflict there. How do you bring those two together?
Well, usually it's just a misconception of what artificial intelligence is. Artificial intelligence is just programmed human knowledge, and it's just quicker. It's more efficient. It doesn't actually replace the humans. It doesn't actually replace the conjecture and the things that happen in a workers' compensation claim that you still need people to do. So what the technology allows us to do is to identify when things are going difficult for our people quicker than we were able to do before. Almost instantaneously, we're able to work out if a case manager at DXC took 6 difficult phone calls the previous day without having a person having to manually do it, without having them having to self-report it. Technology does it, but again, the technology is programmed by people to go, we determine that calls of this nature are difficult. Artificial intelligence doesn't create new knowledge, people do.
And you spoke this morning about one form of technology which is called DAISY. Now, Shanice, you use DAISY. What is DAISY?
Yeah, so DAISY is the artificial intelligent piece of technology that pretty much listens to every single call made to and from our business. So it allows us to understand the difficult calls that we're having, the good calls that we're having, and we can provide that feedback back to our staff around how they're handling the calls, areas of improvement, and then also the good stuff that they're doing as well. So great piece of technology and just a really different way of looking at the service that we deliver to our customers.
And how does DAISY communicate that feedback? If I'm sitting there and I might have 50 case managers out there on the floor and they're all taking calls, and how does DAISY let me know what their experience is on a call-by-call basis?
Yeah, so when we log on to DAISY, it shows us we can go into any type of call if it's been flagged for some reason, like a high-risk call. And once you play that call, it shows you that call progressing. So it shows how the sentiment of the call is going based on what the customer's saying, their tone, their pace, the words that they're using, and then also matches up with how our staff is responding to that. So then it creates like a little sentiment line, and we can see when that sentiment starts to drop, that's when that person becomes potentially vulnerable on the call, something's happening, but then depending on how our staff respond to the person can also influence the sentiment to go up. So able to show exactly how the call's progressing and what's happening throughout it.
So Kain, how does DAISY know?
DAISY has a number of inbuilt things, so it builds in overtalk, people talking at the same time for that, active listening, long silences, emotion, so such as picking up on distress. So they're pretty pre-programmed in. But the rest of it is actually programmed by us. We are inputting what is important and what we have seen over years in customer service on claims. What is a difficult situation for a claim? Repeat language is a key one. Calling up about the same thing and the frustration that it deals with. Talking about challenges with their injury and the difficulty in recovering. And so we're able to program that information in so we are able to identify quickly what's important. The technology doesn't have the ability to determine, and I mentioned this in the talk, that we often have claims where an injured worker is emotionally happy that their claim was accepted. Technology will say that that person is in distress, and then people have to determine that that person's just relieved.
And so you're getting this wonderful data from DAISY. What are you doing with it?
Look, we are looking at, we do it first and foremost to look at our customer service and how we're tracking. We've mapped customer journeys to reduce complaints, but also proactively manage complaints when we know we have an internal issue. So we have an internal issue on staffing or performance, we're able to build that into the system to see, hey, is this actually going to affect our people, our customers? Are they going to call up chasing invoices if we're behind in invoice payments? But we also use it in learning and development. So a lot of our new starters, they're brand new to the industry, and dealing with an injured worker who's emotional and frustrated and they may be twice their age is really, really challenging. So we're able to use this to kind of show them how calls can progress and how things you can say really make an impact. And in highlighting the call that we said, I showed in my presentation, that the woman on the call was really emotional, and the fact that the case manager asked her if she was okay and there's anything else wrong, it changed her sentiment and she felt supported, and it kind of brought that call back. So we use it as a development tool, customer service, but also for complaints. And the next stage for us is using it for return to work as well. The vast majority of information on a claim will come from the worker, it'll come from them, it'll be in the call, and it's just about being able to do something with it. This technology allows the case manager to not be alone in dealing with that situation. They've got a technology system behind them that's providing them a transcript, picking up all the cues on the call that they can reflect later on and action, and they don't have to feel like they do it in the moment.
And the feedback from the case managers so far?
Positive. I think one of the things that they've enjoyed is the transcripts, which I make there, because I don't have to take some notes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that. But also I think the acknowledgement that we and their leaders and people in the industry know how difficult their calls are. We have a lot of people that are working virtually, working from home, and unless they tell us that they're having difficult calls, sometimes it's hard to know. But with this technology, we can know who's had a tough day and who's had difficult emotional calls, how we come back and say, how can we help you today? We know. But the main thing that I've always found is people just like to be acknowledged that my day was bad yesterday. And we go, look, I know, I saw some of your calls. You did a terrific job. We'll help you manage those claims so they get back on track. But yeah, yesterday was a tough day. And people just like that.
And what's the future for Daisy?
Future for Daisy, like Kain was saying, we want to see how we can really continue to develop the program to look at our return to work outcomes and what kind of things that our customers are telling us that is preventing them from that return to work, and really using that information to help break down those barriers and things like that. The other part is, just continuing to develop how Daisy picks up certain calls, how we can interpret them, and more real time as possible.
Well, congratulations on the work
exciting.
you've done. Congratulations on your Innovation Award that you received last night for the work you've done in Daisy in improving customer service and claims management. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the conference.
Will do.
Anytime.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate.